Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we no. 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 Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we. We are the product of generations to live in this planet. So we carried genetic information for millions of generations. Our people move in this planet from one place to another, and sometimes surviving the elements, disasters, and we ending in somebody else's house, in somebody else's land. The story of the humans is so big, so long. Come back. You don't own anything. Your life is new, but you carry information.
Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Unbroken Chain. This week is really special. We get to have a return guest to the episode, Tepahteh Hutze, who I and so many know as Oso the bear. He was also on episode 10 if you want to revisit or check it out for the first time. I have had such a privilege this month of spending several weeks with Oso and his beautiful partner Aga at their house in Connecticut. They are teachers of mine in the medicine path and also have become dear friends, and I'm really grateful for the transmission that they've passed on to me and also to all of us. I wanted to take this moment to talk a little bit about some of the ceremonies that I have experienced with Oso. He was born in Mexico. His mother, grandmother, and grandfathers are all renowned medicine men, and he comes from an indigenous lineage of the Nahuatlacas people. And he came to the States when he was a teenager and was subsequently adopted by Wallace Black Elk and the Lakota people. So the medicine that he practices today is very much within that indigenous container. One of the offerings that he's shared with me that has changed my life is tonawari, which is toad medicine from the Sonoran desert toad. And some of you may have heard of it called Bufo alvarius, which is the Latin name for it and how it's often known in the West, or by the chemical compound that is active 5-MeO-DMT. And I just want to take a moment to be really clear when talking about this, that if you're new to this medicine or if you're not super steeped in the psychedelic community and you start Googling it to learn more, there has been a lot of news recently about some really abusive practitioners who have used this medicine in ego-driven, manipulative ways. And it's a good thing that these stories are coming out, but unfortunately, a couple of these practitioners have become pretty much synonymous with the medicine, and that's really unfortunate because their behavior has nothing to do with the medicine or its transmission, and it has everything to do with human greed. And so I just want to be really clear that if you're researching this, if you're called to it and you're finding some of these stories, that it's good to be educated and it's good to choose practitioners that are in deep communion with the land and the traditions that this medicine came from. There's kind of a narrative in the Western scientific community that tonawari, the toad medicine specifically, has no evidence of being carried as an indigenous medicine, that there's no lineage. And that is bullshit. Because when you talk to somebody like Oso, who experienced these medicines as a child because they were just inherently part of his culture, he took tonawari for the first time when he was 6 years old, and he had none of the sort of culturally ingrained fears or questions around it that somebody growing up in the West might, so it was just naturally part of his experience. It becomes very clear these medicines are a huge part of the human story and have been for a very long time. And his people have stories about the origins of these medicines and how they introduce themselves to humans. And to me, it's a huge symptom of Western arrogance and the narrow-mindedness of scientific and medicalized frameworks to think that because there is not quote-unquote evidence that fits into those matrices, that there is no history. And indeed, scientists actually found recently a 1,000-year-old medicine bag bundle in the Andes that had different tools used for ceremonies and medicine application and traces of DMT and coca inside. And that's, one bundle that was preserved enough to be discovered from 1,000 years ago. But there is untold wisdom in these lineages that has been very much suppressed and destroyed very intentionally by Western colonizers. When the conquistadors came and they brought religion, Christianity, they used that as a tool of violence to suppress all of this deep earth medicine and animal medicine that was inherent to the native populations that they came upon. And for Westerners to now appropriate those lineages and to claim that they are in fact the progenitors of it is a continuation of colonization and of violence. And that is not to say that Westerners should not be participating in these medicines. I think it's very clear to me, actually, that the medicines recognize that Western culture is broken and needs help, and continually humbles me by their willingness to engage with that. But Oso told me a story about a pharmaceutical company that was looking for new antidepressant medicine, and they rounded up a bunch of toads from the Sonoran Desert, shipped them to Cuba, and tried to basically continually milk them in a lab setting. And the toads wouldn't stand for it. The medicine itself wouldn't stand for being colonized. And rather than secreting the hormone from their back that is used in the medicine, they started producing a poison that couldn't be ingested in any way. So while this particular medicine has a way of protecting itself, that does not mean that it's not under threat of abuse and extinction. And so as Westerners, we have a huge responsibility, I think, to seek out the people that have carried this wisdom and to support them and to learn from them, and to believe them and the stories that they tell about how these medicines have been a part of their lives for generations. Oso goes yearly to gather the medicine from these toads. There's a certain time of year when the toads are mating and are above ground, and it's okay to harvest the medicine, and it's spread on a piece of glass and dried, and then broken into small crystals that are smokable from a pipe. When I've participated in ceremony with him, I've found this to be such a beautiful transmission. When I talk to other people about Tonawari, I recognize that there can be some fear around it because I think it's less accessible than mushrooms or cannabis or even ayahuasca at this point. And so in that lack of knowledge, there can be fear. And in reality, because when you smoke this medicine, you are almost instantaneously on the other side, there's really no time for the ego to protest. It's pretty much demands instant surrender. And I think anyone that has any kind of meditation practice or breathing practice and is able to basically keep breathing through the experience, it will do everything else for you. And what it's done for me has been profound reconnection with the oneness. I've experienced my body and myself melting, completely disappearing, and through my chest becoming the universe, returning to universal love. And for people that have had deep traumas where trust has been violated, for people who grew up in families where there never was trust, for me to have the direct experience of that feeling of safety and belonging and homecoming is truly life-saving, and it gives me a place to return to and to aim to with my practices in my life. And when I say practices, yes, I certainly mean things like going for the runs that I know will make me feel better, eating the foods that I know will help me feel clean. But I also mean the environment that I demand with the energy that I put out into the world. It becomes clear to me that it's imperative for me to learn how to hold that space for myself, no matter where I am. And when people talk about how psychedelic medicines can cure depression or treat anxiety, this is very different from the Western idea of treating the symptoms, of saying, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like the world's collapsing on me. I feel like I can't get out of bed, and addressing those symptoms. Instead, it's a much bigger, much more holistic deliverance of, I think, really the meaning that we're all seeking in life, the sense that there is something greater going on than we can perceive with our human senses, and that we have a place in that much greater. It is within us and without us. We are inextricable from love. And these are all things, all concepts that I know that I've been exposed to in my life before I started medicine. And I am grateful for the people and the signals that brought that into my life. And also, I have found nothing so potent as these medicines, and Tonawari especially, to deliver that message in an undeniable, unreversible way. The first time I went to the jungle to drink ayahuasca, I had a practitioner who told me that some of what we fear in these psychedelic experiences is having to relive trauma. And the difference between what happens when we are depressed or suffering PTSD, where we literally re-experience and re-traumatize ourselves, is that in the container of medicine, we're releasing. So when we're born, we are an empty, clean glass vase, and we're filled with clean, clear water. And as we live and go through life and inevitably experience trauma and acquire survival mechanisms, that water becomes cloudy and it gets little bits floating in it. And when we go into medicine, the medicine pours that fresh, clear, clean water back into the vase, reminding us who we are. And the dirty water overflows the edge and spills out. And our eyeballs and our senses are on the outside of that vase. So when those traumas pass over us, we feel like, oh my God, no, I'm back in it. But that's the experience of it leaving us. And learning how to purge, learning how to release, learning how to be comfortable with that feeling of surrender, that is such a good tool to carry in life at all times. And it's helped me learn to move through the world with so much less fear, with so much more confidence that I will be able to meet the moment, whatever the moment is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how different it is than what I expected or what I wanted it to be. It helps me arrive in it with the confidence that I'm going to be able to respond appropriately, and that I'll be able to take care of myself. I don't think Tonawari is habit forming in the least, and if anything, it very clearly tells me, okay, go work and go learn to deepen your love for yourself and for the world. And last week when I was in ceremony with Oso and Aga, I was so struck by this feeling of purging and release, things that I knew that I needed to let go of, and also, you know, the karmic buildup of the stress of generations of survival and what it means to be in the West, detached from these healing practices for generations. A lot of that gets released in a really safe way. And they sing medicine songs that are designed to help move the energy out of you. And I had a lot of clarity that emotions that we don't process become calcified in our body and turn into disease, because there's no way to avoid accumulating energy. That's what we're made of, and that's what it means to be in the world, to constantly be giving and receiving from the things we input, from the media we consume, from the food we eat, yes, and also from one another, from our environments. And to learn to be porous and accept it and let it move through us, and even to become filtration systems of love, if you will, so that when we're met with heavy energy, dark energy, manipulative energy, anger, fear, that we can actually transform it with our bodies and with our spirit and respond with intention and integrity and output good things. I'm figuring out how to do this, and I'm so grateful for people like Oso who have created a life not seeking fame, fortune, and glory, but truly seeking healing and helping people understand how to return to our earth-based roots, our inherent wisdom, our relationship with life, with the universe, with plants, with animals, with one another. That is our birthright as humans. That is a gift from someone who has come from a lineage that has been under attack by the very forces that want to make us feel divorced from ourselves in order to direct our energy into other people's profits and other people's gains. And I encourage you to connect with Oso on Instagram at Tepahteh Hutze and at tepahtehhutze.com, both of which I've linked below. He's offering a lot of different kinds of retreats at different scales, from weekends to, in October, 8-day retreat in Tulum, Mexico. He's offering sweat lodges, tonawari, kuyumari, which is also known as peyote, and upcoming ceremonies also in Connecticut, like Moon Dance and Vision Quest, where you go out into the wilderness for 4 days and 4 nights. No eating or drinking. You just sit in a spot and pray, listen, be. You don't have to smoke toad medicine to be part of this work. One of the most beautiful ceremonies that I've learned from Oso that I wish that I could do every day is sweat lodge. Like psychedelic medicines that can be so overwhelming and so intense that all I can do is breathe, sometimes being in sweat lodge can be so intense, so hot, that all I can do is pray. And those moments where I am driven to complete humility in my life has manifested the reality of something bigger. And I just want to urge you to start with prayer if that feels like what's available to you. There are a lot of opportunities to learn from him. He has incredible integrity. I really trust him. And with so much gratitude to Oso and to Aga for sharing his medicines, for the joy and the fearlessness with which he has continued to honor the legacy of his ancestors and all of our ancestors. Here he is reminding us how to be human, Oso the bear.
Okay, thank you to this time, to the universe, to give me permission, to give me voice to talk. The voice is the energy vibrating in my own body, mind, and also spirit. My mind, my body, and the spirits vibrating in the same frequency. Today I want to talk about ceremonies, but before talk anything else, I think I have to talk about humans and understand who we are humans. If we don't know who we are, we don't understand what we're doing here in planet Earth. And we start in thinking about something else. And we don't know what is respect until we understand who we are. I want to give example. Who tells the eagle to be an eagle? Who tells the wolf to be a wolf? Who tells the hummingbird, the little hummingbird, to be a hummingbird? And how the eagle find out it's an eagle? Why the eagle don't think it's a chicken? Or why the wolf don't find out like it's a dog? Or the hummingbird find out like it's something else, like it's a dolphin? How the hummingbird get his own abilities and recognize himself? This is what we're missing with humans, because we don't know who we are. And later we grow up and we want to be like a shaman, and we want to be like a Buddha, and we want to be Jesus Christ, and we want to copy the life of somebody else did it, and we want to be like that person instead to be ourselves. Okay? It's impossible to be something else. You can be a stone, you can be a tree, you can be even a river. Are you human? Look at your hands. Look at your feet. Look at yourself and accept yourself like a human. That is a lot of responsibility to be human, because in humans rely the responsibility to move part of the universe. And we don't understand, we abuse instead to be part of the universe. We have to understand how to be part of the universe. Humans call that pray. Okay, how you pray? How we pray? Get a book, go to the library and get a book with all the more beautiful praise in the world. But it's somebody else's ideas. We have to find out ourselves. Okay? The position you have in this moment, this is a pray. If you move, use a little bit, and you put your hands up, this is a pray. And you lay down and watching TV, that is a pray. And you gossiping and talking about another people, that is a pray. See? And you lay down and don't move a finger and stay like that for 24 hours and maybe a week, that is a pray. Everything we do is a pray. Everything we do is connection with the universe, the center of the universe. I call that instead to call God, but I can call God if you decide. I can say, is this the connection with God? But I prefer to using the center of the universe because so many things was made in the name of under God. So it's much better talk about the center of the universe or be part of the universe. Okay, if we put ourselves and move our muscles and working, this is a pray. Going to the center of the universe. What the universe do it? Giving more. Because we pray and we move, the universe giving more stamina, more healthy to use it, to be part of the universe. And we are lazy, lay down, watching TV, we start accumulating fat because the universe thinking like we want it. We don't want to be healthy. We have to be very careful about it because we even asking to be dead or to be killed in our praise. When we don't put attention, we get poisoned. We get poisoned with our own thoughts. See, we have to be very careful when we say something about, oh, I don't like it, I don't want it, I don't like this life, I don't accept it, because the universe understands and says, okay, and stop to give it to us, the opportunity to be happy, healthy, rich, God wherever we have, because the universe creates the humans in the most beautiful form. But we decide not to be like that. And we get full of fat, full of garbage in our minds, full of different things in our bodies, We deny our ways, our natural ways to be humans. Okay? The universe are ready to give to us what we need, but we have to move. We have to be positive. But because we thinking in the wrong ways, we attract disease. But we call disease. The disease really doesn't exist. What exists is disalignment. You don't get aligned with what is important in the universe. And so you get pain, you get tired, you get ready to be out in the game of the universe. So when we don't match perfect how is the game, how is the project in the universe just put out, and another players have to keep going. You have to come back. When you come back, you get healed. So how you get healed? Just align again with the game of the universe. To be aligned, they call medicine. The humans, early humans, try to find the alignment again. And using structures, sacred geometry, and using the help of the water. This is why it's very important, the 4 elements: the water, the fire, the wind, and earth. Okay, starting with the water. Think about it. What is the water? The water is a liquid. The potential hydrogen, pH 7, is when the atoms or the molecules get together and get natural water. So it's to clean ourselves, we humans using to clean ourselves to get the alignments, to get back to the right pH. The humans have to have also close to the pH 7 too. But we are a little acidic because our system produces acids. Try to get our food the more higher pH, close to 7, like natural fruits, natural herbs. Products like soda, like meat, they are very acidic, very close to 3 or 4. So put our bodies very down. So you see, this is try to explain this alignment. This is disalignment because we are not aligned with something like is natural, like the water. So why can't using the water to flush our intestines, to clean ourselves outside, inside, but help us to flush everything we have inside. See, this is one element. We can go to the air. How is the air? How we can describe the air? We need something is dissolved in the air. Oxygen. We have even organs designed for that, to absorb and get inside of us the nutrients is dissolved in the air. Oxygen is one of the most important. Exists a lot of elements, carbon, even metals dissolved, but the main product here in the air is oxygen and helps all our system. And our lungs are like pumps. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And the air cleans us. Your system only absorbs 4 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. That's it, no more. All the vitamins are making of these elements. So all these elements are dissolved in the air. Very ancient about people even can survive with don't eat and don't drink, used to get all the nutrients from the air, especially between 5 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. All these nutrients are dissolved in the natural ways. So you can live with no food and no water. You go naked and absorb in the natural ways. Clean your mind, your body, and your spirit, and connect you to the right way in the universe. Wherever you have any disease, what you have to do is wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and go naked and receive this energy, this vibration in the morning. It's so beautiful. You're feeling so beautiful. But if you can do it, it's because you enjoy to be out of alignment. See? So how you want to learn to pray? If you are not capable to do an alignment, this is one form, one way to pray. I told you how is our reality, our ways of the ancient people. And this is the way you pray. Get the water, clean yourself for all the ways. You can have no more cancer in the colon, cancer in your systems. So you help yourself. Water and air. See? Fire. How fire cleans you? Fire cleans you everything around. When the corpses, animals or anything, trees, starting getting rotten, the area start getting acidic. The soils is the pH. Some plants can't survive in the environment and very low pH. And some plants can't even survive in higher pH. See? In the ocean, even with salty water, is the pH is sometimes 11, 12. But some plants are capable to live in these conditions. When the environment starts turning acidic, the fire is the medicine to clean everything around. The fire give it to us, cleans air, cleans the Mother Earth, help ourselves. We are solar beings. We depend on the movements of the sun. Believe me, we change with the sun's proximity, in summer. Even ourselves, we start turning sad and coming a lot of bathtubs in wintertime. Is living sometimes very miserable in seasons like it's too much snow, cold. We enjoying when the sun come out. The sun represents the fire. In our body, the fire is our heart. Because in our culture, when the little boy or little girl is created, in the 18th day, the heart start beeping up. 18th day. And after that, keep beep up the rest of the life. Even the human is still in vegetable stage. And the heart is still working, still alive. And the moment the heart stops, the life is done. The heart represents the sun, represents the fire. In our traditions, in our cultures, always we make the fire based in the 18 days to remind us we have a heart and beeping up and we still alive. The 4 elements is Mother Earth. We need to put ourselves and walk over Mother Earth. The medicine of Mother Earth is one of the most important, to be grounded, to recognize ourselves as humans. That is why we call her Mother Earth. Everything we have, everything we breathe, everything we eat, everything we wear, the more amazing things, the more higher technology coming from Mother Earth. You like gold, wearing gold, it's coming from Mother Earth. See? Are you thirsty to get some water? It's coming from Mother Earth. The water is the veins of Mother Earth. It's running and cleans Mother Earth. You like put on yourself a beautiful jacket? It's coming from Mother Earth. Animals get sustained with Mother Earth, eating what is growing in Mother Earth. Everything we see around us is Mother Earth. So it's the 4 elements. So when we put the 4 elements and we follow the rules of these 4 elements, we follow the laws of the universe. So you want to be healthy and live a very long life and enjoy your life, you have to be aligned. Like I said in the first time, you know how to be a rocket scientist to cure yourself and enjoy the life. So be aligned with the laws of the universe. Don't worry about the humans' laws. The humans change the laws every day. Change the laws every minute, every second. Don't follow those laws. See? If somebody says the way you have to pray, pray stay in these ways and follow always the rules and the laws of the universe, and you never missing. Treat your people like with your heart, and you never be wrong. Yeah, because it's coming from the fire. Be yourself. Don't copy nobody, because are you human? Check yourself. You have hands. Check yourself. You have eyes. Check yourself. You have legs. Doesn't matter what is the color. I don't know why the people make a big difference between one person with one color, another person another color. We share the same kind of blood. We have eyes, nose, mouth. We can hear, we can talk. Why the Creator make us the different colors? You know what? Because it seems to me like a Creator or the universe give it to us the opportunity to enjoy ourselves with different colors. I think Creator or the universe enjoy to see all of us in different ways, in different colors, multicolor. See, like the birds, I don't see all the birds are the same. I see birds the color blue, yellow, white, black, and it's so beautiful. And I don't see the birds separate and says, no. Now we have to build the wall, and all the blue birds have to be the another side, and the yellow then the another side, and the big ones and different side. I see all live in the same way. It's not strange to see that? Yeah, it's very strange. I had to talk something about that because I think it's part of the disease, and you understand what is the disease. You see the eagle coming and fly and perching in your backyard. It's so beautiful, and you'll be so proud to see an eagle, because the eagle represents even our country. It's in the flag. See that? Guess what? The eagle's traveling all over the world. And this eagle coming sometimes from Alaska, Argentina. Yeah, the Departments of Environment Protection here in the United States try to find out, and tracking the hawks, the owls, the eagles, and wear satellite. And then find out, the eagles traveling all across the continent, not the country, the continent, and another continent, and come back, and nesting in another city, and go back in Europe, across Europe, and go across all the Asia, and come back from Alaska. And one day, it's perching in your backyard. I have to tell you what. This is an animal. Animal, then don't go to the school. You ask the eagle, something like is 2x2 or something, a question, never answers. It's so ignorant. Yeah, but guess what? I don't see the eagle have a green card. Yeah. I don't see a wolf traveling and have a green card. But we humans have it. And we need paperwork to used to be humans, and this is a disease. And we follow these ways, we get sick, like the people who invented these ways to control. Then try to control the animals too. We have to open our minds and accept ourselves to be healed in mind, body, and spirit. I put those examples, not because I want to be involved in politics, used to express something we missing. Just what have to do is come back to ourselves. Now you understand, in this moment, all the medicine is not outside. You can go for medicine and buy the medicine and pharmaceutical stuff, or by visit more expensive hospitals. Or tell me, you can go to the store and buy $20 of happiness. Even better, go to the more expensive store and says, give me $5,000 of health, I want to be held and give me, because I am rich, I want to pay $20,000, because it's all the money I can save. And I want to be happy and break it, another 20,000 of happiness, another 20,000 of well-being, and give me also something to my memory, to keep my memory up, This thing doesn't exist. That you can have everything. You can have healthy, you can have, because everything is inside of every human. The only thing you need is bring out the healing way, following the rules of the universe, and you get it. The knowledge, the wiser ways is inside. The medicine is inside. Go inside and get it. So when you feel healed, you can see the person is healthy because have something not all the people have. Dignity. Dignity, because we lose the dignity when we give up. When we accept somebody else's advice, when we abuse for something, we lose it. So we are the product of generations to live in this planet for millions of years. I know people only say thousands, but the humans are here for millions of years. So we carried information, genetic information for millions of generations. Our people move in this planet from one place to another, and sometimes surviving the elements, disasters, and we ending in somebody else's house, in somebody else's land. And our children just ending in different positions, in different ways. This is how so many of our people, our ancestors, ending even to be slaves and slavery, because they have to put themselves working by their own hands until they find something else. So many stories about it. The story of the humans is so big, so long. But you listen and you and your mind start looking for yourself. Come on, come back. You don't own anything. Your life is new, but you carry information. If that information give it to you something like you own something, try to repair right away and get your dignity back. Yeah. Talking about in recent years, maybe like you open your eyes and looks like it was a few hours ago, people came to this continent looking for help, looking for place to stay, looking for freedom to pray, to be yourselves, to be humans. And after that, in a few times, they start abusing, start killing, start taking advantage. It's part of the humans. I understand that. Now is different time, different generation. Give it back something your parents take it. Just give something back, something like love, compassion. Stop in this moment the abuse. Stop in this moment the wrong ways. Understand, this place receive your ancestors with love, compassion, and give you another opportunity. It's okay. So many people die. It's part of the life. But stop in this moment and give something back. Help the few survivors. If nothing happens, just to help the few survivors and be part. Why instead to get the survivors be part of this big culture? Why don't take this culture and be back to the roots of the natives, the ancient people, still carrying knowledge and understand that knowledge? I'm talking about my own people, my own culture, because we get massacred and we almost disappear. But I'm talking because we still alive. And believe me, I don't feel nothing against all my brothers who came from another continent. I still accepting them with love, compassion, and this is why I'm talking about that. Because I want to tell and let you know you don't own anything. But I think, brothers, sisters, you suffer because you lose your dignity. Because we don't own anything. We lose our land, we lose our ways of life, we lose our ancestors, we lose our animals, our everything we lose. But we still alive, and we give thank you to Creator. We still give thank you to the universe because we are still thriving. We have that part, self-respect and dignity, because we don't own anything. But you, brother and sister, be part of that and recover your dignity. Enjoy the new culture. Enjoy and be happy together with us and be part in this new awake.
Thank you so much for joining us again today. I'm so grateful to share time and space with you. I really encourage you to find Tepahteh online, Tepahteh Hutze on Instagram, tepahtehutze.com. And I'm also there as well, Maura James and maurajames.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions about my experience with medicine or with working with Oso. I want to share a few words from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. I wanted to share this piece about children and about how we think of our place in the unbroken chain. I'm not a parent. If I will be, if that's ahead of me, I don't know. But this is resonant with how I've started to learn to interact with people everywhere that I encounter. The idea that we are all beholden and responsible to one another as part of the family, and yet we can change no one but ourselves, and what that really means. I've had a lot of conversations with Oso and Aga this week about the feeling that things are shifting right now. Oso was saying that a lot of kids, he refers to my generation as kids, but truly even younger than me. I was in Sweat Lodge the other day with a 9 and 10-year-old, and the idea that we really need to be in service to the younger generation, to the kids. They are inheriting this disconnected, hurting world, and they're coming prepared for the world that's meeting them. And we have a lot to learn from them in the way that they're approaching life. So this reading gives me some perspective and confidence that even in times where it feels like chaos reigns and that things are changing faster than we could possibly hold, that all of that is part of the plan. So go forth. I love you, beauties. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer seeks the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrow may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable.
Yana Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we no. Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we no. Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we. Yana yo we no. Yana hawe yo hawe yana yo we no. Yana hawe yo hawe yana